patents.
Land patents.
Land patents. Your ancestors got issued land patents.
Right. A nation is built up of cities, communities, households, husband, wife, children.
Right.
Where is it at in our community? When we got on those slave ships, we didn't know nothing about an African American.
Right.
We didn't know nothing about no damn Afro-American.
Right.
We didn't know nothing about a colored person.
Right.
We didn't know nothing about a black race.
Right.
When we got on them slave ships, we didn't know nothing about everybody's your neighbor. Everybody's not your neighbor.
That's right.
Your neighbor is the children of your people.
Right.
Your neighbor is the children of your people. But what happened is, we were enslaved, and slave master gave us religion. Slave master gave us indoctrination. Slave master gave us our last names.
Bring it out.
Everything we know today, everything we've been taught, was taught to us by the same man that put us in slavery. Understood what he said, but to hell with that. Restate what you're saying.
No, all I'm saying is, when you say all the slaves came over in slave ships, all our ancestors, all I'm saying, we came over here before slavery and everything. We were taking our own personal ships, coming over here. We were farming. We were doing all this stuff over here. You know what I'm saying? And then just a miscommunication of like, why you say we didn't get here until we got to slavery. We was already thriving over here prior to slavery.
Absolutely. So now let me just get into. So let me give you a breakdown, right? So we're the Israelites, and what we teach, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, historically speaking and biblically speaking, are the children of Israel. Way back when, right? You know, King David, King Solomon. During King Solomon's time, he went off from the Lord. He had many women, right, from different nations, and all these different women had different gods that they worship, different idols that they worship. So King Solomon, he set up temples to those false gods. You understand? So because he went off like that, God judged him. But he didn't judge him in his time. He judged on his son's time. And the judgment was that he split up the kingdoms of Israel.
Right.
The children of Israel were split into two kingdoms. The northern kingdom and the southern kingdom.
Right.
The northern kingdom would be represented today as the so-called Hispanics, the so-called Latinos, the so-called Native Americans. Right? Now, when you see like so-called Native Americans today, Mexicans today, right? Those are the northern kingdom of the children of Israel. They were separated from us because of idolatry going back to King Solomon. Then furthermore, once we separated as a nation of people, the northern kingdom, so-called Mexicans, Hispanics and all that, they went further off and started setting up more idolatrous temples. And God judged them. And they went to slavery under the Assyrians. Then eventually the southern kingdom would be your African Americans, your Haitians, Jamaicans, Trinidadians, so on and so forth. We eventually went off too, and the Lord judged us and sent us to slavery. And that's when the Babylonians came against us. And the Babylonians conquered Assyria. So the Babylonians conquered the southern kingdom, and then they went and conquered Assyria, who already had the northern kingdom. Then, furthermore, we kept going into slavery. We kept going into idolatry. God kept judging us. And then, once the Babylonians, their rulership fell, the Persian and Medes came in, and they conquered the Babylonians, who had both of us in slavery. Then, when the Persian and Medes came, get me Ezra chapter 1, and where King Cyrus gave us liberty. So when Cyrus, you remember the movie 300, and then Leonidas and the you know what I'm saying? All of that got some good history in there. There's some falsehoods and theatrics in there as well, but that time frame was when the Persian and Medes took over the whole earth and they was ruling. Mind you, Israel, us, we was in sin. Therefore, God didn't let us rule. Anytime we go into sin, God put us in slavery, just like today. So now, Persian and Medes come into power, they conquer Babylon, right? Once they conquer Babylon, one of the kings of Persia and Medes They said, you know what? I got the whole earth in my power. I'm going to let you Israelites go and worship in your own land. So we had a boat of other Israelites, and we went back to our land, which is Jerusalem.
Right.
We went back to our land, and then there was a portion of our people that did not go back to the land. They came over to this side of the world. You understand that? Because during King Solomon's time, like you said, we been coming over here. During King Solomon's time, we was coming over here, sending to navigate all that stuff. We was coming. You're right. So now, read this. I said Ezra. Oh, I said Ezra. That's crazy. Oh, go ahead.
Bring it out.
Ezra chapter 1 and verse 2.
Yeah.
Thus says Cyrus.
Read verse 1. You all right, brother? All right. Hey. All right. Get an interview with him real quick.
Ezra 1 and verse 1. Now in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia.
So Cyrus, he came and conquered the Babylonians, right? You can look that history up. Come on.
That the word of the Lord by the mouth of Jeremiah might be fulfilled. The Lord stirred up the spirit of Cyrus.
So the Heavenly Father stirred up the spirit of this heathen king, the Persian, Cyrus, come on.
Of Cyrus, king of Persia.
To do what?
That he made a proclamation throughout all his kingdom.
He put out a decree. He put a law out, right?
And put it also in writing, saying, Thus says Cyrus, king of Persia, the Lord God of heaven hath given me all the kingdoms of the earth.
This dude done conquered everything. He conquered. Babylonians was a mighty kingdom. But Persia and Medes conquered them. You know what I'm saying? Read.
And he hath charged me to build him an house at Jerusalem, which is in Judah.
Come on.
Who is there among you of all these people? His God be with him.
So now he's saying, look, God gave me the whole earth. Power's in my hand. Now I'm telling you, you Israelites, you go build up your temple to God. You go build up your homeland again. So whoever got the Spirit of God on them and want to go back to the homeland and build your kingdom up, you go do that. Just like today, let's say America gave us power today. Any of you African Americans want to go back to your homeland and build it up, you go do that. Who you think gonna leave?
Right.
Niggas gonna stay right here in Frisco getting hot. That's what niggas gonna do. That's why we gotta come out here and say, hey man, get your mind right. But back to the history, read.
Which is in Judah, and build the house of the Lord God of Israel.
Bring it out.
He is the God which is in Jerusalem.
Right. So now Cyrus gave us liberty to leave. We didn't have to stay in Persia and Medes. We didn't have to stay in the lands we would conquer no more. We could go back to our homeland and build it up. So now some went back. Now go get me 2nd Ezra 13. Some went back and some did not. So we're gonna read about the ones that decided not to go back to the homeland. And somebody pulled up archery. Give me the definition of archery. Officer, give me the definition of archery. Definition of archery.
I appreciate
Before
you
you go.
teaching.
Before you go.
Head out.
Right here.
2nd Ezra 13 and verse 40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoner out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king.
They were carried prisoner by the hand of Assyria. Assyria came and conquered them. Come on.
Whom Salmanasar the king of Assyria led away captive, and he carried them over the waters.
The Hispanics were on slave ships before we was on slave ships. They were carried over the waters on a slave ship into slavery. Read.
And so came they into another land. But they took this counsel among themselves.
So during the time of Persia and Medes, thousands of years have passed now. Persia and Medes ruling, and they gave us liberty. That's why we just read Ezra 1. So now they get liberty to leave, and now they take this counsel among themselves.
That they would leave the multitude of the heathen.
He said, damn, we got liberty. Man, let's leave these heathen, let's leave all these nations, and let's do what?
And go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt.
Ain't nobody dwelt on this side of the world until the so-called natives, Hispanics, Aztecs, Mayans, and Incas, Boricuas, Taínos, until they got over here. Read.
That they might there keep their statutes.
They came over here to keep the laws of God. Read.
Which they never kept in their own land.
And they never, because they went off into idolatry. That's why he said, let's go over here where nobody ever dwelt, and we gonna keep the laws of God, be righteous. Come on.
Verse 43.
Bring it
and
out.
they entered into Euphrates.
So now he's telling you the pathway that the natives took. The so-called white man tells us that they did the continental drift, the Bering Strait. Ain't millions of people is not crossing over no ice-frozen land bridge. It's not happening. Where are you going to re-up food and stocking and all that? That was a false theory that was put out there. But God's telling you how they got over here. They entered through. This is bigger. So the Euphrates is right up over here. Where we at? Right here. You see the Euphrates? They entered into the Euphrates River and came down under the, they call it the Horn of Africa, Ethiopia and all that, right? So you see the pathway. They entered into the Euphrates, came down all the way around Africa, and then came down to South America and start dropping folks off. That's how you got them in the islands, and they came all the way up to Canada, all that. But let's read.
And they entered into Euphrates by the narrow passage of the river.
You see how narrow the river is? Come on.
For the Most High then showed signs for them.
So now the Most High showed signs for them, meaning the constellation. They used the stars to travel. The Lord guided them. The so-called Mexicans, the Aztecs, the ancient Aztecs, they had that understanding. Why do you think there's pyramids all up and down Central and South America? Because they had that understanding. When we was in Egypt as slaves, the Israelites, we built the famous pyramids. We didn't build all of them, but we had that understanding of archaeology, that understanding, that knowledge. We built that. The Israelites did. You understand? And whatever other pyramids they built, the Egyptians built, they learned it from us. When under the time our forefather Abraham taught them.
I agree with you 100%.
So now, read that.
All right.
So now you got our flyer, you got our information, right? So now, when we came over, when the Native Americans came over here, some of them look like you, as far as your complexion. Some of them look like me. Some of them was black as the blackest brother out here. You understand that? The different, exactly, right here. Black as night.
Bring it out!
Black as night, you understand? Some of them be light, some be black.
Right.
You understand? So we are the same people. You know what I mean? And then after further colonization and slavery, then the pigments started to change, features started to change.
Right.
But you read about a Negroid people that was here before the colonizer ever came. You understand that?
That's the problem. We need to get our land back here because that's one of the biggest issues. They try to brainwash us and think like we need to go back somewhere else. We need to just get our land back. Like we have thousands of acres that are issued to us. But people think like, oh, I need to go back to Africa. I need to go back to different places in the world. No, we need to get our land back here so we can change the economics here for us to make us a better people here.
Absolutely.
Because that's our reality right now.
Absolutely. We're here. You know what I'm saying? Our fight is here at the end of the day. We got to get our minds right first. Here, now with that, that's a good point. I like that. We got to, because people like to fleet. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, it's going to be the same thing in Africa. The white man got his hands over there. The white man, that's the damn Chinese. That's because, you know, the Chinese is over there messing up a lot of stuff. They fake coming in with loans and building them up. You understand? But really, they just, they coming in so they can take over everything. The same way the white man doing things. So we got to get our minds right here because that's where we at. Now watch this. Read.
Bring it
Verse
out!
45.
No, Zephaniah 2:1.
Bring it out!
So now,
Brother, like you teaching me something, I want you to look into land patents.
land what?
Land patents.
Land patents.
Land patents. Your ancestors got issued land patents.
Right.
Land patents is the land that wherever the initial tribes that were
Saying
here,
this is ours.
this is our land.
Legally, this is ours.
As we get our land patents back for this land, we're gonna start to be able to make the change that you're talking about.
Right.
All
So
right?
now I'm not objecting to that. But what I am saying, there's a step before that.
Right.
And let me read this first.
Bring it out!
Read that.
Zephaniah 2 and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
When you look at the people on this sign, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we're not desired in society. We're hated. We're called nigga and spick.
Right.
Savages.
Right.
You understand? That's what we're called. So God tells us to gather together. O nation not desired. A nation is built up of cities, communities, households, husband, wife, children.
Right!
Where is it at in our community? We got baby mamas, baby daddies, right? So now, get me Romans
Bring it
chapter.
out.
Matter of fact, give me Ephesians 4:23. We go there. So we have baby mamas, baby daddies, single parent households. Fathers ain't seen their children in years. You understand?
So
Let
you know-
alone provide.
So you believe in the power of the word, right?
Absolutely. Let me finish it, and then don't lose your train of thought.
They separate and
Read this.
divide you. They
Hold on,
separate and divide you. They separate and divide.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now watch this.
Ephesians 4 and verse 23.
Bring it out.
The step, when I was saying that there's a step before we actually do the package stuff, right? So yeah, we got to get the land back. We got to get our stuff right? We have to gather together because we're a nation not desired.
Right.
If we ain't fighting for ourselves, who gonna fight for them? Because
Right.
we know they've been fighting against us. But this is what we got to do first. Read.
Ephesians 4 and verse 23.
Bring it out.
And be renewed in the spirit of your mind.
God says be renewed in the spirit of your mind because your mind was destroyed in slavery.
Right.
So we
that's
gotta
right.
be renewed in the spirit of our mind.
right.
When we got on those slave ships, we didn't know nothing about an African American.
Right.
We didn't know nothing about no damn Afro-American.
Right.
We didn't know nothing about a colored person.
Right.
We didn't know nothing about a black race.
Right.
We didn't know nothing about that. That was not our nationality.
Right.
That's not what God calls us.
Right.
So we got to be renewed in the spirit of our mind. When we got on them slave ships, we didn't know nothing about everybody's your neighbor. Everybody's not your neighbor.
That's right.
Your neighbor is the children of your people.
Right.
Your neighbor is the children of your people. But what happened is, we were enslaved, and slave master gave us religion. Slave master gave us indoctrination. Slave master gave us our last names.
Bring it out.
Everything we know today, everything we've been taught, was taught to us by the same man that put us in slavery.
Right.
Ain't nobody telling y'all to go hate nobody. I'm just telling you the facts.
Right.
We telling you what's what.
Right.
This ain't your friend.
Right.
This is your enemy.
Right.
Period, point blank. Your friend ain't gonna put you on a slave ship. Your friend ain't gonna put chains on your neck.
Bring it out.
So now, we gotta be renewed in the spirit of our mind. Starting with what? Our culture, our
Right.
heritage.
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is